Hi, this is Arun here with Java tutorial session 3. In the previous session we have seen what is JVM, JDK and JRE, and we looked into Eclipse IDE as well. Here in the third session we are going to learn what is a class and what is methods and how we will be using it in Java. Okay, let's do it in Java. Now, we need to learn about classes. So, what is a class? A class is a classification. In other languages like biologies and all other tuitions, when we are studying in colleges and schools, we'll be learning about classifications. So that kind of classifications are available in a programming language. As we know, Java is an object oriented programming language. It need to have objects and that object specification. So a class contains a specification for a object. That is what I'll say a simple example. Human is a class. So human means human is not an object but human is a class. What are all the properties of a human class? Human class can walk, eat, grow, and he'll be talking. All those is related to a human class. Now, when we are pointing to a particular human and we are a execution of a human, that is human class. That is called an object. Means class is just a blueprint. It doesn't have any actions. It cannot act, but objects can act. So a class can have many objects as well. So this is the case. In a class we are just writing the definitions and will be saying animal is a class and animal can do this functionalities, and we will never execute a class. But when a class come into an object, class is converted into an object. Dog is an animal, so dog is an object. So we can say dog is also a class, and we can create objects of dogs, many of objects of dogs. So now we will learn how to create a class and what is anatomy of a Java program and what is main method and running a Java program using Eclipse IDE. So I have opened up my Eclipse IDE over here. So here I have created a project called classes. Let me remove this package and I'll create it again. Okay, now I'm going to create a new package. com.tut.classes. So this is my package I have created, and I am going to create a new class. Now I am mentioning the name as my class. According to Java standards, we need to name a class with every word's first letter as caps, and we cannot write we cannot use spaces in between the class name, the words. So here I am using my class. So M and C as cap letters. If I wanted to say like my class name, I'll be giving N as caps letter and name. So this is how we need to write a class. So I am going to create a my class in the com.tut.classes folder, classes package. So now you can see a class got created over here. The class name is my class. Here public class my class. So this public is called access specifier. When we are making it as public, we can access this class from anywhere in the project, or some other packages also can use this, and also we can run this particular class when it is public. And if we are making it private, we cannot use this particular class anywhere else. So that is the case. So public is an access specifier and private is an access specifier. Then another access specifier is there, protected, and default also there. We will learn about the access specifiers in later sessions. Okay. Now, how this class is going to be executing. So now I am going to create a main method for this class. So the second thing we need to learn is what is a method. A method is something called a functionality. We will write some functionalities in there in the method. As I told earlier, we have a human class. So what is a functionality of a human class is human class will walk. So walk is a function. Make him walk. We can write a function called make him walk. Okay. For every class which want to run separately, then that class need to have a main method. So that is a method. Function means function in other language, in other programming languages we will call as functions, but in Java we use the word method for mentioning a method. So here I need to write a main method for running a class. A main method need to have within a class for running that particular class. Here I am going to write a method. I am going to write a main method. Public static void main string args. I will explain you later what are all these things and what is the requirements with this public and static void. Public is I already told you, for accessing the method we need to make it as public, and static is a keyword. We will learn about static keyword in the later sessions. And this is a void which is called a return type. That means the method which is going to return something, that is called a return type. So, and this is the arguments which this particular method is receiving. So when someone is calling this main method, we need to pass some arguments into string array arguments. Arrays also we will be learning later. String array arguments we will be passing, and that will be receiving in the main method, and we can run the main method. So now here is the case. We have seen a lot of time earlier, system.out.println we have seen my first program. I am going to write my first program. I just give a string. So what will happen when I run this? I will get an output, my first program printed in the console. So I am going to run this. Yeah, now I got my first program run. So, but without this main method, I cannot run a particular class. I'll comment this out. I'm commenting this particular class method. If I comment this particular method, it won't be run. Behalf of that, I'm going to write another method, public static void run, and I am going to run my run method. Let us run this class. It will compile successfully, it won't have any problems, but if you see here, I don't have any run as options. Okay, I just click here, it won't run. It will be giving you an exception, fatal exception occurred, program will exit. And here in console you can see java.lang. No such method error main, because it didn't found the main method. And even again I am removing the comments from this, and I am running this again. This time it will execute my program. And remember, the run method didn't run because if and only if we have a main method, and if we are calling some other methods, then only that particular methods will execute. The thing which I wanted to explain is, if I call the run method here, I can call this run method directly from my main method, because these two methods are static, as well as we have kept this in the same class. So I am running this. Now you see my run method got executed, and the placing of method also I can put anywhere. So if I run this also, this will be giving me the same output. And as many times I am calling the run method, this run method will be executing and printing the output to the console. See, my run method, my run method, my run method 3 times, and 3 times I called this particular item. So that's about classes. So what is the syntax of a class when we wanted to write? We have a syntax like access specifier and the keyword class and the class name and opening braces and closing braces. This is the way how we can write a class. And the beginning of the class file need to mention the package name where the class is containing. Here I have my class containing in the com.tut.classes. So here this is about classes. Next we will learn more about methods. Okay, so here is we learned about classes, and now we have methods. We have seen how we are writing a method. We have seen the main method, and here now I am going to explain you a method syntax. A method need to have a return type. A method need to have a return type. Return type means when I call a method, it is returning some values or not, whether it is returning or not. So that is called as a return type. I am mentioning this as void. Void means I am not going to return anything. And if I want to return some integer numbers, that time I need to mention the return type as int. And the method name need to be in camel case letters. Camel case means the if my method name contains more than one words, the first word full will be mentioned in small letters, and in the next words will be mentioning the first letter of the next words will be as uppercase letters. So here I am going to mention my method. Let's make it as my first method. My first method. So this is what a method name, how I am writing. You can see M is a lowercase letter, and F is a uppercase letter, and M is again an uppercase letters, and a round bracket need to have with a method, and a opening brace and closing brace. In between the opening brace and closing brace, we will be writing the content of the method. The execution part we will be calling as the method body. So here this is a simple method. This is how a simple method we can write. And one thing I wanted to give here a system.out.println my first method is executing. Okay, I just wanted to make it printed. I am just removing this print state from the main method, and as I told you earlier, one method need to be called from a main method or some other method, then only it will be getting executed. So if I have only main method, which is the first method going to execute over here, I am going to call my first method from the main method. So how I can call is my first method. So there is one more rule in Java: a static method only can be accessed directly from another static method. So we need to make this void my first method as static. So I am giving the static keyword as well here. So now I can able to give my first method over here in the main method. If I run this, what I will get? My first method is executing. Now we have a static keyword over here, and we have the method name, and we have a return type. Simply we need to have at least a return type and the method name. That is the format of writing a method. And we can have private methods. We can have private methods means when I make it as private, the method will be only accessible from this particular class. Also I can give this as protected. So there is a rule, protected methods can be accessed from the inherited classes as well. So here I am going to mention as public. So this will be publicly accessible from outside of this class as well. And if I wanted to pass some values to my first method, suppose I am going to write another method for adding two numbers. So public static void add two numbers. So add two numbers means I need to receive some two numbers over here, then only I can add that numbers. For that I need to mention int A and int B. So this is what called as method parameters or method arguments. So if I wanted to add two numbers from here, from main method, I am calling add two numbers. I am giving 1, and in the place of B I am passing 2. So now I will be receiving the 1 in the A and 2 in the B. Okay, so int B will be receiving 2. So now A and B will have the numbers. Now I am going to write the method body int sum equal to A plus B, because A and B are now the member of this add two numbers method, and this can be accessible inside my method. So now I am adding these two numbers A plus B and storing it in a variable called int sum. Now I am going to print the output of the sum. Okay, now I am going to print like A plus B equal to, I am just wanted to print this as A plus B equal to itself directly. That is means I wanted to print it an A plus B equal to the sum will be printing in my console. So I am giving as sum, and a string and a number will be concatenating using a plus symbol. So in system.out.println we can in double quotes we can put A plus B equal to and sum. This sum will be printing the value of the sum, and this A plus B equal to will be printing exactly A plus B equal to. You will be seeing this in the output. See, now I passed 2 and 1 into the method. It printed A plus B equal to 3. So that is what the output is. And now I want to return this sum from this add two numbers method. So for that I need to give return sum. But now this time you will be getting an error stating the return type of this particular method is not int. It is void. So we need to make it as int. This time this error wiped out. Now we have to receive this sum returning from this method. We need to receive it over here. We'll be mentioning int s equal to in the two numbers. So this will be calling, and this method add two numbers will be calling, and 1 and 2 will be passed to the method, and this method will be returning adding the numbers, that is the functionality is executing here, and it will return. I am commenting this, I don't want to print this over here. It will return from this method, and I am copying this statement. I am deleted the statement from there, and I am pasting it over here. So the sum will be returned into the yes, and I will be printing the yes over here. So what it will happen now? Now it will print me a plus b equal to 3. So what has happened is the int will be returned over here in the yes, and yes is got printed. Now I want to run one more method. Public static int. I want to make it as a return type as again int multiply by 2. This is what I wanted to give, and multiply by 2, like I want to multiply the returned value, that is the yes, I want to multiply by 2. So I want to give receive a number over here, int sum. No, int I am going to give as int num. Don't make it confused. And I wanted to return in this way, return num star 2. So what will happen? This number will be returned or received over here, and it will be multiplying by 2. The multiply symbol we will be mentioning as star, num star 2. This will be returned to the method where we are calling. Okay, so I am commenting out this my first method, and this system.out.println s is there, and again I am going to call control space, type mul and control space. You will be prompted with this. This is an Eclipse feature we have. Will be directing you what are all the things you have available, and what are all the things you can do. So you do this, you will be able to do this, show this. So I am mentioning the yes as there, and multiply by 2 will be calling my method, and it will be passing the yes. And what will be the value of yes? S will be 3, and 3 into 2, 6 will be returned over here. What I am going to do is int d equal to, this particular method is returning an integer value. I am going to receive that in the variable d, int d variable. And now sys o, I am going to print like multiplied value equal to plus d. So now what will happen? First it will print the a plus b equal to 3, and multiplied value plus d, that is 6, it will print. I am going to run this. See, now multiplied value is 6. Suppose I am giving this as 2, then what will happen? 2 plus 2, it will be written as 4, and 4 into 2, it will be printed as 8. So this is what about a method. A method will have a return type, and a access specifier, and a parameter, and a name. So and a body. So these are, and whether it is returning and all those things we will be mentioning inside the methods. That is all about a method. And I am moving to the next slide. The next slide is saying a method anatomy, method signature, writing a method, calling a method from another method. All those stuffs we have covered over this tutorial. In the next session, we will be covering about loops and branches. Thank you for watching Java video tutorials. Thank you.